Whenever you're doing your hanging baskets, one of the first product that you would use would be the Growise tub and basket, right? And the reason you'd be using the Growise tub and basket is because it has an ingredients in it that allows for the water to be retained in the compost. Nowadays, these have become very popular, these baskets. You know, they've got the rattan on the outside and they've got your plastic on the inside. And the reason these have really become more popular is, number one, they hold the water a little bit better. The reason hanging baskets dry out, even though you wouldn't think it, is the wind. Wind penetrating through, and it dries out the basket an awful lot. Using a compost that allows for your water to be retained in the compost, keep the basket damper, and it's going to help with the plant growth. So I'm grabbing the compost and I'm putting it into the basket, and I kind of like to sort of break it up a little bit as I go along, and I knead it down. Okay, I've put it in, I've filled it up about halfway, and I'm going to keep filling it in a little bit more, breaking up the compost as I go. The most important thing is to actually shove it down at the sides. I don't pinch my trailing geraniums. I don't need to pinch my trailing geraniums, but I definitely need to pinch my surfinias, okay, which are the trailing petunias. And you come along, and you can do this for the first couple of weeks, even once it's in the basket itself. If you keep pinching for a little while, the more you pinch, the more you'll get out of it. Now, I'm not inclined to put a plant in the center of a hanging basket, okay? I know people do, but I figure if my wire is going up the top there, I don't want whatever's growing up through the center to be interfering with the chain at the top of the hanging basket. So I can move the compost around. And I'm inclined as well to leave it a little bit top heavy on the top, nearly mounded slightly, because it will settle down. And eventually, realistically, what you want is for the compost in your hanging basket or any of your pots to be about an inch below the top level of the container. And there I have my hanging basket. That will be very, very full of plants. You've trailing fuchsia, trailing geraniums, everything trailing down, and they will, of course, cover in over the top of it. But you can see there's nothing really in the center, and the compost is slightly over the top, but as I said, it will sink down into the container itself.